Seattle's deadly experiment with anarchy cost the lives of two young black men and critically wounded others, including a 14-year-old. But Seattle's not alone. In New York, Chicago, L.A., and other cities flirting with the idea of defunding police, we've seen shocking increases in violent crime. Now, so far, liberal city councils and mayors looking to defund the police haven't connected the jump in crime with failure to support the police. In fact, last night's vote by New York City Council to cut $1 billion out of the $6 billion police budget wasn't enough for Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She sent out a message that reads in part, quote, defunding police means defunding police. It does not mean budget tricks or funny math. This is not a victory. The fight to defund policing continues. So, how many more lives will be lost before the connection between depolicing and an increase in crime is finally made? Let's ask Republican Senator from Louisiana, Bill Cassidy. Senator, good to see you. Thank you for being here. You know, black lives do matter, Senator, and they are being lost in greater numbers in areas where police are being eliminated or being pulled back. Isn't there a connection? And when will people wake up to that connection?
David, the chop zone should be the connection. Two teenage boys killed in a police-free zone. We need public safety. I saw an ironic headline, but I don't think they thought it was ironic in the New York Times, I think it was. Streets have become safer. Despite this, police budgets have grown. They didn't think, maybe the streets are safer because we've given the police more support. I speak to my folks in New Orleans. They say police reform costs money. The police in New Orleans, they've got a ways to go, but they've come a long way. It costs money for body cams, for taser cams. It costs money for the information systems that allow the police to be, if you will, policed. If the folks who hate the police don't understand that, I don't know what else can prove it. We need to support the police as they reform and as they preserve public safety.
Well, you use the word support. I would throw in the word respect. It's not just defunding the police that's the problem here. It's also the lack of respect. President Trump actually spoke to that point with our own Blake Berman from Fox Business. I want to play a soundbite of the president, get your reaction. Go ahead, roll tape.
Well, I'm a big fan of New York's finest. We call him New York's finest policeman. And what he's done to that group of incredible men and women is very sad. It's very sad. I don't mean just the $1 billion, that's a big thing. But even if you go long before this, when they turned around, they turned their backs, his relationship with the police of New York, and these are incredible people, it's been very sad to watch, frankly.
And Senator, it's not just New York. In Virginia, at one time a very strong police state, the state Democrats are trying to defelonize assault against police, downgrading it from a felony to a misdemeanor. What do all these messages send to police forces around the country?
You use the right word, David, but I'll put it in the negative. It means that you do not respect those who put on, you ever notice a police officer, they always look like they have a big chest. That's because they have a bulletproof vest. They have a bulletproof vest because someone might shoot them. My gosh, if somebody is willing to take that risk and protect us, we better respect them, we better support them, and the fact that there's people who would shoot them means that defunding the police is a bad idea for everybody who cares about public safety. It's a good idea for robbers and rapists and murderers.
And you know, last night, you talk about respect for police, just the opposite was going on down at City Hall, where a member of Black Lives Matter, at least he was wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt, and he had a microphone, he was speaking to the crowd. He was telling them to do things. I'm not even going to mention what it was so despicable, what he was telling the crowd there to do to police. The mayor, nevertheless, the mayor of New York wants to paint on Fifth Avenue, and he mentioned specifically right in front of Trump Tower, he wants to paint Black Lives Matter on the street after their representatives have said you should do exactly the opposite of respecting police, actually cause them physical harm. What do you think about that?
You know, I didn't see that, but all this kind of disrespecting of police has consequences. There are people out there who are not balanced. There are three widows in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because somebody in Kansas City drove all the way down and shot those 3 police officers. The pure reason being they were police officers, one of whom happened to be an African American. Put a very poignant statement, Montrell Jackson, poignant statement on his Facebook page, which captures the tension. If I wear a uniform, one part of the community does not like me, and if I take it off, another part doesn't. We have to resolve that tension. If you're disrespecting the police, there might be another Montrell and another Montrell's widow. Be careful what you say. We need to support and respect the police.
And you know what we also need, particularly in this week as we lead up to our Independence Day, the celebration of our independence and of our revolution, we need unification, not division. And I want to end on a positive note. You and I were talking before the show about how you're a medical doctor. It actually helps you recover. It helps you get better if you have a positive attitude. This country's been sick, not just with COVID, but with also with problems of our understanding of who we are and how proud we should be of who we are. How do we reinstall that on this Independence Day week?
We do that by going back to Thomas Jefferson's Declaration of Independence, which both Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King used as the exemplary of what we should be. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed with certain unalienable rights. If we exalt that, and by golly, we should exalt it, then we will work towards justice for all, and we will do it in unity, and our country will be stronger.
Senator, Doctor, that is great medicine. We really appreciate it. Bill Cassidy, great to see you. Have a wonderful Independence Day with you and your family. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, David.